The diagnoses that I've been given is bipolar, major depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, and obsessive compulsive disorder. I'm someone who has survived molestation from the ages of 4 to 9, as well as having been raped and physically abused. And although I've been given all of the diagnoses that I've mentioned to you, they are not at all who I am today. I am a sister, I am a mother, I am a friend, I am a lover, and I am a victorious Caribbean queen. The roots of the country that I'm from, Trinidad and Tobago, is a significant part of who I am. In fact, when I initially came to the United States, it was a major and significant transition for me and affected my overall being as well as my mental health. I struggled with identity. I struggled with lack of self-confidence and not filling in. I dealt with extreme highs and extreme lows, and those extreme highs involved me being very energetic and constant cleaning and meticulously trying to perfect everything. And the extreme lows were excessive crying, bouts of crying, and not being able to get out of bed. And that continued on through my life. Initially, when I was given my diagnosis, I was extremely angry. For lack of better words, I was probably more enraged. I felt that something was wrong with me and lost a complete sense of self-worth. I initially sought treatment because I was put on a 5150. And a 5150 is a 3-day hold at a psychiatric hospital. And the reason that I was put on a 5150 was because I had several attempts to take my life. And when I went into the hospital, initially I was very combative and very angry and resistant to receiving help. I was someone who self-mutilated, who burned, cut, banged her head, and would do that as a way of releasing emotions that I didn't know how to let out any other way. So being that I didn't have access to those pieces, I oftentimes attempted to keep myself busy by looking through the magazines that were available on the ward and would rip out pictures that stood out to me that may have represented feelings or experiences that I had hoped for or had experienced. And from me beginning to just rip out the pages, I created collages. And from the collages, I was making a story. And initially I didn't know that, but instinctively and intuitively, my healing process allowed me to do that. And once I created these collages, words just came to surface, and I would just write how those images made me feel, and it allowed me to begin to purge the feelings that I had suppressed for so long because I could no longer do that by self-mutilating myself. I began to recover when I found my voice. For a good portion of my life, I did not have a voice. I was silenced. I was shamed and blamed for the trauma that I experienced. So I actually was mute for some time. I didn't speak at all. And when I was in the hospital, I came across a doctor who I will forever remember, and that is Dr. Connor. And when he came to visit me in my room, he was not at all trying to come in and out of the room. he calmly sat and inquired about how I was feeling. And not only did he ask me how I was feeling, he wanted to know what I was doing with the pen, or pencil rather, and paper in the room. And I told him I began writing poems. And he initially asked me to read him my poem. And from every day since then, every time he returned into the room, he continued to ask me to read my poems to him. And he sat there with no judgment and listened to the poems that I read him and encouraged me to continue writing and expressing my feelings. And not only did he continue to encourage me to write poetry, he planted the seed for me to tell me that he believed that I had a gift in writing poems. So from there, that's how I began to be more open to receiving help and services, because someone saw something in myself that I had never seen. Every aspect of me is beautiful, incredible, unstoppable, unparalleled, feared and revered, strong, brave, brilliant, and resilient, a celebration of what is, a proclamation of uniqueness, unapologetically expressing herself and being myself. No conditions, no qualifiers, no caveats, unpretentious, yet glorious. Not conforming to what society imposes, or defined by a standard so narrow and untrue, acknowledging my own standards, while seeing the strengths embodied in you, manifesting radiance and radiance manifesting, filled with qualities, characteristics, and attributes, undeniably courageous and authentic, confident and majestic. Every aspect of me is every aspect of you, and every aspect of you is every aspect of me. My brother, my sister, every aspect of us is beautiful. Today, without a doubt, I can say that I am not my diagnoses. I am not someone who has a disease. I have moments of dis-ease. I also know that all of my dreams, aspirations, and hopes can be accomplished. And I know that my lived experience adds a great deal of richness to the work that I do. I support individuals by allowing them to focus on their strengths, despite any pain or struggles they may have experienced in their life, but really look at empowering them and providing them with more choices and tools to work with so they can be more self-determined. And now that I am more in touch with who I am as a person, I'm able to continue to share the beauty of what Trinidad and Tobago is about. And I see myself going back to my country of origin and giving all of the gifts that I have been given here back to the people in my country, to help them heal, to help them grow, to help them flourish, to help them continue to strive and plight.